Hello YouTube, N60 Fortress here. I'm back. Thanks for tuning in again as always. It's very much appreciated. I've just touched down in Worcester and we're going to check out the CEX and kickstart this one off of a hunt. And yeah, I'm just looking for a cheap PS4 game, hopefully 50p, to replace that game that I've got that I need to move on. And I'm also looking for a Need for Speed Most Wanted manual for the PS3 to complete my Essentials version. And yeah, just have a look and see if we can see anything else then. So yeah, let's get on with the hunt then, shall we? Right then guys, let's quickly go through the pickups from Worcester CEX because I don't want to dwell on them for too long. But first of all, FIFA 17 on the PS4. Yeah, see what I've done there? Recently picked that up on the PlayStation 3 Essentials. This is a lot cheaper and probably the better version, no doubt, with it being on the PS4. 50p, gets me a replacement case. And if you remember that Until Dawn on the PlayStation 4 hits, I got absolutely trashed in the post, case all broken. Well, that ended up costing me nothing because I got a full refund from eBay. I then found one at CEX out in the wild when I went on that massive game pickup in Grantham, so I don't need that. And yeah, basically I can put that into this case and it will trade in for £6. That's 50p into £6 credit, or I can try and sell it for more than £6, but I'm not sure what the appetite is for Until Dawn in the PlayStation 4 hits at the moment, so it might just be easier to trade in and get it gone. Either way, it's worth doing for spending the 50p. Next up, I got the Need for Speed Most Wanted manual that I need. My Essentials version that I picked up in that bundle didn't have it. It's just a standard EA slip. Nevertheless, I needed it because I'm quite fussy. So that'll go into my copy. So that cost £3. This will go back into the CEX system without manual. They won't care. And that'll be a little bit something back for that. But yeah, the pick of the bunch, I guess, is this Killzone 2 on the PlayStation 3. Not an easy one to come by, but it's complete with manual and the correct disc. It's only £1, which is an absolute bargain really. Any Essentials game that's not easy to come by for £1, you know, it's worth grabbing. And yes, I'll be selling this for at least £4, which means I've paid nothing for that Need for Speed Most Wanted manual. You got to work smart like that and seize the opportunities, seize the day, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'll move this on, and that means that manual hasn't cost me anything, and it's happy days really. So yeah, let's get back to the game room then. We've got some changes to be getting on with. Once we've done all of those changes, then we'll get into the pickups for this week, and there's some nice bits to show you. So see you back in the game room. And just like that, guys, we are back. So check this out. That's been now listed. I think £10 might be a little bit ambitious for that. So we'll just think, yeah, as long as it's £4 plus post, happy days. That'll go on Vinted. Look at this, Need for Speed Most Wanted. Really happy with this. Obviously, it's got the manual slip, but it's also got this basically DLC slip as well, which is great. You know, as a perfectionist, it's nice to have things fully complete. So now my copy, which I got off Dan in that huge bundle, is now complete, and that can go in my collection. I can mark it on my spreadsheet as complete, and it's in my collection, and happy days. As long as we move that kill zone on for the profit that I talked about, then the expense of this is strictly what I paid Dan for it. So happy days, hopefully, for that one. And of course, yes, remember the state of this Until Dawn, just to remind you, it got absolutely trashed, cracked to pieces. I'm not sure if CEX will take that. I think there are some branches that probably would, but yeah, we'll put the FIFA case into this and we'll get this traded in along with that spare Most Wanted without the manual now, and the massive stack of other things I've got to trade in as well. So yeah, it's getting quite late in the day. I've got a few things that I need to do today, family things to take care of. So I'll catch up with you tomorrow and we'll do the game room changes then. And then after that, we'll go through my pickups for the week. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Right then, guys, another week, another vlog, and we've got quite a bit to go through on this. So I'll just race through some of the things that we'll be getting up to on this episode. Hopefully it's not too boring for you. Hopefully some enjoyable content. And yeah, so first things first, I was really happy with what we did a few vlogs ago in terms of making this cabinet look good. Got the PlayStation 1 games across the top. Some of my favourite and most nostalgic PlayStation 1 games there. PlayStation 2. And then we go straight into the Essentials. Yeah. And that's the top half of the bookcase done. With what we've got to fill in, we're going to go into another shelf. So the Essentials will continue into the bottom half where the Dreamcast is. So we're going to have to move all of these shelves down by one. And yeah, it'll go into the Essentials, then into PlayStation 4 hits, standard PS4, PS5. I'm going to have to rehome the standard PS3. Like I said, this will be coming down a little bit more. Virtua Tennis 4 is with my mate in the Essentials range, but the rest of them, I've already moved the Battlefields out as well, but the rest of them will have to find a new home. They'll either go on the shelf with the PS5, although that just seems counterintuitive. Obviously, there'll be a shelf at the bottom, and there's the option to get more PS1 games and frame it, or I'll probably put my N64 Player's Choice on the bottom shelf and have those on display, and then I'll have to rehome the Dreamcast, of course. I'm thinking of slimming this collection down a little bit. There was a stage where I was going for a full set and I quickly changed my mind. Just one, there's a lot of overlap with Nintendo 64, and two, being fussy as I am, it was very difficult to cope, keep getting broken cases, broken hinges, cracked cases, broken teeth. The cases are very brittle, and when they're being posted, it's just a nightmare. So yeah, I decided to forget about that journey very early on. So there's some games in here that I wouldn't miss if I got rid of them. Sydney 2000, for example, I've never played it. No interest in playing that anytime soon. I think there's one game, Ultimate Fighting Champion, at the back there as well. That can go. And then I'll just keep my originals plus a few favourites, like Crazy Taxi and obviously its sequel. So yeah, we'll obviously get into that at some point. But yeah, I think we should just reshuffle this then and see how things look. I'll speed it up so you don't have to watch the whole thing and you don't have to see the laborious part where I have to alphabetize all of this here. Like I said, some of this is going to be in foreign languages where English versions released, like Pro Evolution Soccer, and I'm just going to have to mark on my spreadsheet that it's not English and that I need to pursue an English version at my leisure in my own time, but I'm not going to rush to do it and break my back trying to do it in the immediate term. And they all play in English as far as I'm aware, so really it's just a fussy thing really, and that can take its own time, though I do have plan to get round to doing it. I also need to get some PlayStation sort of badges like I have here. I think that'll make the cabinet look nice, and even though there might be N64 on the bottom row, it'll be largely a PlayStation cabinet, and if that does get to me, then I might have to rehouse the 64 Player's Choice and yeah, maybe frame the collection with another row of PS1 at the bottom. I don't know. But yeah, I just thought I'd add, it's been a while since we've done an episode of Mission N64239. We're aiming to complete and review, I'm sorry about the terrible lighting, we're aiming to complete and review all 239 UK PAL N64 games on the channel on this journey. I'm enjoying it. I'm playing games that I've never played before on the system, and there's some, you know, pleasantly surprising games, some not so pleasant, but that's all part of the process. And we've beaten 15 games already. The journey only started earlier this year, not even at the start of the year either. So to be 15 down already, that's pretty good progress, I'd say. I've decided to go for Yoshi's Story next. I think it's a pretty short one, and one I can do fairly quickly. So we'll aim to get this done, completed, and fully edited for next Thursday's video. But failing that, it'll be the Thursday after. The trouble is with these games, even though they're fairly short, it's the editing process. Doing the work behind the scenes to decide what voiceover I'm going to put into the video, some of the facts, making sure that the footage is good, that I've got the important bits included and exclude the not so important bits to keep the video length to a respectable time, around the 20-minute mark, I guess. And yeah, we're going to go for that one next. I've never played it before. I think it's a little platforming game, so yeah, looking forward to that. And this is what the journey's all about, playing games that I've never played before and hopefully discovering some hidden gems. So yeah, if you've got any comments on Yoshi's Story, let me know if you ever played that one. Yeah, look out for that on the channel. That'll be the next game on this journey to complete and review all 239 UK PAL N64 games. So yeah, just as always, before we get into it then, if you're new to the channel or a returning viewer and you aren't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out. We're on a nice growth pattern at the moment with up to 890 subscribers, which I'm very grateful for. For those of you who have subscribed, those of you who watch the content, really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy the content, you get something out of it, you enjoy seeing my collection grow. It helps you get motivated to sort of build your own collections and display them in a way that you're proud of and happy with, like I try to do. So yeah, really appreciate the sub if you're not subscribed already. So yeah, without further ado, then let's get into getting this cabinet reorganized then. Right then guys, that took a lot longer than it should have done, but really happy with how things look now. So yeah, PlayStation 1, 2, Essentials, and yeah, so there's 51 on each row, so that's 51, 102, 153, and that'll take us to 204 once we've completed that row. There's actually 219 known PAL games, so that will have a 15 game overspill onto this row. Obviously the hits will have to shuffle down, and there's 57 of those, plus another 15, so we're gonna have to do reshuffling later down the line when and if we indeed get to those full set journeys. I'm optimistic. I've proved that I've got what it takes to get over the line on full set journeys on more than one occasion. I've done the N64 library twice, complete in box. This does feel like a bit of a different animal. Some of the games in this library are proving difficult. I've already proved with FIFA 17 that I can get things done, so I've just got to get to work with some of the remaining difficult titles. I have managed to secure probably the third most difficult out of the 3 remaining difficult ones I had left. I've just got to wait for that to get over the line, really. Fingers crossed with that, and then it'll just leave the 2 hard ones. But yeah, happy with that, how that looks. There's a lot of red going on. Obviously, it would be all PlayStation, but for the N64 player's choice down here, I think that's the best place for them though, really. And I guess at the bigger picture it does look a little odd, but hey ho, it's kind of the best I can do at the moment. Let me know what you think. Open to suggestions if you've got any better ones. But yeah, so I moved the Dreamcast over here, double stacked, so that kind of looks all right. Keeps the blue going. I've had to turn these round, the EA Classics Mega Drive games. That's okay. Need to try and be wise with the little space I have left. Still got to decide what I'm doing with this Fox Data controller set journey, because the other 2, the Red Rain and the Purple Forest, are proving very difficult, albeit I've stopped searching altogether pretty much since embarking on the Essentials and Hits journey. Kind of derailed me slightly. And there's a lot of money tied up in these controllers, so yeah, I need to have a good think. This all needs tidying up, so just ignore the mess. I kind of did things the wrong way round, so I've got some pickups to go through you later in the vlog, and I could have done with going through those first, because I'm going to have to refile these away. But I've still got to go through all of this anyway. There's a lot of these that have been put on, but I need to populate my spreadsheet with how much I paid, whether they're fully complete, which they are, because they wouldn't be on the shelf if they weren't. But you know, I've just got to have one more look at them to make sure, and double check if they're not English, and if they're not, then that needs to be noted on the spreadsheet so that I can keep an eye out for an English version wherever possible. And I'll do that at my leisure time then, once the spreadsheet's populated. And yeah, we've got 2 casualties of the Dreamcast, obviously leaning out a bit, and yeah, these are surplus to requirements, so they'll probably get traded into CEX. Happy to let those go. We've got a load of PlayStation 3 to trade in, and that Mega Drive game there, Aerial, Resident Evil on the 7 on the PS4, that can go as well. Obviously I've got it in the hits range now. I think I just put my disc into that because it was nicer than my original. Happy to let my case go though. And yeah, so once I file away them Essentials, that'll free up some space. And yeah, the only other casualty is the standard PS3, so I need to find a home for these. I guess they'll go up here, and longer term, I don't know. I might thin this out a little bit. Maybe you can do away with like the wrestling game, Virtua Tennis, the Essentials version will come. And then I might just, you know, get rid of Gran Turismo 6 because we've got 5. I don't know. It just seems a bit... I reckon we can get rid of some of those anyway. And then just keep a smaller stack and just keep them up there. Sort of the all-killer of the non-essentials, I guess. I don't know. It's a tough decision, really. I'll have to think it over. But yeah, let me know if you've got any suggestions. And yeah, I've still got this Brian Lara cricket then. So let's just do the giveaway for that because that can go. It's fully complete. If you're interested in winning this Sega Mega Drive game, fully complete Brian Lara cricket, all you have to do, if not already, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and put Brian Lara baby in the comments, and I'll pick the winner out on next week's vlog. And yeah, you'll get this nice Mega Drive game sent to you for free and to put into your gaming or even Sega Mega Drive collection. So Brian Lara Baby, in the comments, like this video and subscribe. Yeah, so good luck with that if you're going to enter. And yeah, that's about it for now, I think. Right then, guys, I think we've earned a little break, don't you? So we're going to play some Indiana Jones for a bit, and I'm going to try and make some progress on this. Really enjoying this game. If you haven't played it, yeah, you might want to consider doing it. If you like Indiana Jones, you'll enjoy this game for sure. Let's take this guy out, man. He's got to go. Need to try and be quite stealthy around here. There's guards everywhere. Look at this. Secret found, eh? Thank you very much. I don't know where I'm going. Oh. Out for the count. Great, we've got another guard. Get out of here. 5484. Great. Four. Wow, what have we got here? Got all the gold we're after. Right, let's get out of here. Da, 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 da. Stole Voss's gold. Very indie-esque escape. Oh, let's get out of there. We've got the gold. It's a really good looking game, this indie. You know, I was a bit concerned about it being in first person, but I'm a big fan of the Far Cry games that are all first person, and yeah, you do like being able to see indie, but which is why third person works well for Indiana Jones. But to be fair, this game is very well made, and it plays a lot like Far Cry, but as indie. And it does work well in first person, and you do get to see him in third person from time to time, like you've seen on the zip wire, and you know, when you're whipping around places. So it does work. Thoroughly enjoying the game. Right then, guys, that's enough of Indiana Jones. As you can see, great game. If you've not played it yet, I strongly recommend it. I'm thoroughly enjoying my time with it. I must apologise, I'm a little bit ill. You can probably tell by the sound of my voice. It's the day after, and yeah, I've come down with an illness, but yeah, I've just got to try and power through this one. We'll just go through my pickups, and yeah, it's been a very heavy Essentials kind of week. We've made some progress. Not all of it is in terms of new games, but we've certainly put right issues that I've been meaning to address, and we're inching closer along that journey to a full PAL Essentials set. And I'm going to endeavour to be the first person, or known person at least, to have a full English where possible set, because as far as I'm aware, nobody has that yet. And yeah, this one feels like a pickup. Need for Speed Most Wanted. Now we've got it complete with manual. Happy days. Really pleased to tick that one off. And that one's fully behind me now. Happy days. Next up, in the bundle that I bought off Dan a few weeks back on the Mega Pickup, there was this Sports Champions Essentials game, but it's Polish. I'm not sure why he went for this in Polish when it's not that difficult to find in the UK, and it's not an expensive one either. It's like £1 in CEX. But this was complete with the Essentials disc. But what's happened is basically, because it's Polish, I've wanted to replace this, and every copy I seem to see in England seems to have a standard disc in it, in an Essentials case. So English version, but the standard disc. Now what I've done is I've swapped this disc out of the Polish one, because the Polish one has got an Essentials disc. Now I'm supremely confident that this will play in English. I haven't tested it yet, although I shall do. And yeah, it feels like a little bit naughty, because technically that's not what released in the UK, if the UK version did have this standard disc. However, on my broader searching abroad in foreign territories, far to reach territories like the Czech Republic, Slovakia, places like that, they do have an English case like this, and they do have that Essentials disc in it. So technically, I'm not breaking any rules really. Technically, this game can be found like this, so I'm just saving myself a lot of trouble. This only cost £1 on Vinted, plus delivery and fees, so nearer £4 I guess, but it was worth doing to get an English case, and now it's got the correct disc thanks to having this in the bundle. And I just need to sell this Polish version with the standard disc, and I'll probably make a loss on this, to be honest. It is what it is, but it's a small price to pay really, in terms of having that sort of perfection in my eyes in the collection. So yeah, I'm gonna have to move this on, and probably won't get an awful lot for it because it's not worth a lot in English. So yeah, might have to just give this one away, but we'll see what happens with that. Next up we have Motorstorm Apocalypse. I think the version I had is German, from Dan, and it actually had a platinum disc in it. I think that's how it released in Europe, bizarrely. Don't ask why, I don't know, maybe some of you experts out there can tell me. And it's very bizarre, yeah, standard version, an Essentials version with a platinum disc. However, I think that platinum disc is quite sought after, so I think it's quite hard to come by. So platinum collectors, if you're interested, let me know. I'm looking for around the £20 mark, because I know they've sold for a lot more, trying to be fair. So yeah, about £20 for that, but it is on my eBay, and if you want to discuss it, let me know. But yeah, I've bought an English copy of the Essentials game now, so this will go in my collection. It was £10 I think on eBay, and I think every English version I see just has the standard disc. I'm not going to question it. I'm happy with that. I believe if that's how it released in the UK, then I'm happy with it. I know this is contrary to what I've done with the Sports Champions. So, you know, if I can find an English version in a foreign country with an Essentials disc, and that's perhaps something I'll need to address later down the line. I'll put it on my spreadsheet as it's got a standard disc, and then at some point in the future, maybe I can try and research a little further and find out if English versions exist with an Essentials disc deeper into European territories or not. So yeah, that's a challenge for another day, I guess. But for now, happy with that. This is what released in England, and it can go in the collection now, and it's one less in the bag of doom with issues that I need to address, basically. Excuse me, we need a little bit of a drink break. Next up we have Bioshock Infinite. This is quite a tricky one to come by. It's brand new and sealed. I caved, I bought the one on eBay. Yeah, it was quite expensive. I think it was on for 60 and I got him down to 50. It probably could be found cheaper, but it's just one you don't see very often. I just wanted to get it ticked off because I had a foreign one. That foreign one's already sold now. That nice English one in my collection. You don't see it very often, so sometimes you just pay a bit more for some of these titles on this journey, and some you get bargains on, and that's the way it is, you know. Another one ticked off, and a difficult one ticked off relatively, and yeah, I can put that one behind me now, and happy days. Next up I've got this Dance Star Party, about £5 on offer on eBay, not much, and it was brand new and sealed. Sadly it got trashed in the post. I don't know how, it's always me, why always me, right? And the case was all cracked, and I was like, I can't leave it sealed like that, so I unsealed it, and this is nice in English, by the way, and so I did a case transplant with one of the spare cases I've got. The broken one will go to CEX, and yeah, so to my delight, I opened it, got an Essentials disc, so that's happy days for an English copy as well. You might think, oh, so it should do, it's brand new. Don't know, a lot of these English copies you see, when you do see them, tend to have a standard disc, a bit like Sports Champions. It seems a lot of these sort of only on PlayStation titles, PlayStation exclusives. They kind of shortcut and just shoved the standard disc in. I don't know for sure. Maybe it was just a later print run. The first batch just got rid of the standard disc, and then a second print run, a later print run, they whacked normal discs in. Maybe this is imported from other areas of Europe. I really don't know. This is an absolute minefield. I'm still learning about it. For why I'm delighted for it to have the Essentials disc inside it, and I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have been any the wiser if it was sealed. I probably would have just assumed it's got a standard disc in like most other copies you see, but because it's sealed, it really doesn't matter. But yeah, at least now that's put to bed, and I'm happy. I actually got about, well, it cost £5, and then I got a £1 or 20% partial refund because it arrived cracked, and I told him I need to replace the case, so we'll call it a quid. I don't want to ask for a big discount on something that was cheap anyway. It's just, that's not who I am. I'm not one of these people who demands a big refund because it's arrived damaged, but I also don't feel like I should have to unseal a game and have an unsealed game for the price of a sealed game, if you know what I mean. So I had to get something. I said, look, just call it a quid. That's the cost of a new case, basically. And yeah, they were happy with that. I was happy, and yeah, really happy to add this one in because I didn't have this game, and it's fully complete with the correct disc, and it's English, so win-win-win. Yeah, maybe you want to see me do a playthrough of this on the channel, Dance Star Party? I don't think so. Last of all, Payday 2. I lost out on an eBay auction to this. So I had this in the bundle off Dan, but it had the standard disc. So that's actually sold now on Vinted for pretty much what this cost me. So unagi, right? It's just working smart. So I lost out on an auction on eBay, and it ended up going for about £15-16. It's just, you know, quite a lot. But it's not one you see overly often. This is English. Nice condition as well. But then I looked on eBay, and there was, after losing that auction, and there was this one listed, but it didn't have any photos of it. It was just like a stock photo, and it did say it was an Essentials in the description. I thought, you know what, this was about £9 something, and all in posted. And so I was like, okay, it's like more or less half of the price of the one I've just missed out on. It's worth the gamble. Took the gamble. Happy days, it paid off. Good case, no issues, no rips, no damage. Fully complete, manual, and the correct Essentials disc. So got it for half the price that the person paid for the one that went at auction. So it just goes to show sometimes it's worth taking the gamble. I've bought games off Music Magpie on eBay before. They just use stock photos, and most of the time it comes good. I think this could have been from them as well. And yeah, delighted that it's got the correct disc, and it's another one ticked off. Another one out of the bag of doom where I needed to replace an issue with it, i.e. incorrect disc. That copy with the incorrect disc is already sold on Vinted now for pretty much what this cost me. So happy days all in all. I'm really happy with that. Speaking about for sale on Vinted, that Killzone 2 has now sold. It sold, you know, within hours of it being listed yesterday. And yeah, it cost me £1 in CEX. It's sold for £6 plus post and fees on Vinted. So that's a £5 profit margin for me. I'm not here to gloat about the profit margin. I'm really not. That's not what this channel is about. But that £5 profit means, like I said yesterday or the day before, that the manual on the Need for Speed Most Wanted hasn't cost me anything, plus some. So yeah, it's just about being smart on this journey. It's not a cheap journey to go on. It's expensive. And I'm not saying that you need to go out your way to make everything free, because I mean you can do that, but you're gonna have to pay taxes sooner or later, because the tax man will start knocking on your door if you make too many sales, unless of course you get around that some other way, which I'm not promoting. But yeah, what the point I'm making is, if you don't want that horrible thought on your mind that I've just had to pay £3 just to get a manual because I'm fussy, well, if you just do a little transaction like I've just done, you haven't got the worry of that being on your mind, have you? And I certainly haven't. So happy days. That's going to get posted later, so all good. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up the pickups for this week. There are a couple more, but I'm holding them back for a future video because incomings are going to be slowing down eventually, so I want to make sure I've still got content in the coming weeks rather than being forced to keep buying when there's slim pickings out there. It's not all about incomings to create content, but it's just to provide some continuity on this journey to a full set, do you know what I mean? And I just want to make sure there's some content there to provide continuity. Kind of the way I work when I'm collecting, certainly on full sets, I like to try and steamroll ahead and just get things done and try and get as far as possible, as quick as possible. Everyone might not agree with that. You know, it is about enjoying the journey and soaking up the moment, but what I would say is it's very competitive out there at the moment for Essentials. Like I said, I'm listing things on Vinted, Spares, they're selling rapidly. And so what that means is there's a lot of collectors out there looking for these games as well. And so that only makes it more competitive, more difficult, and it's going to make my job harder to find the games that I'm still looking for. So I'm just trying to work a bit faster and trying to work smart to try and get things done and things behind me out the way, so I haven't got the headache of competing against other people on the same journey, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I think that's about going to do it for this week's vlog. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you did, please whack a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. And if you're new to the channel or a returning viewer and you're not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Being subscribed doesn't feel like it means what it used to. Like, I sometimes feel that people don't feel the need to subscribe because they get notified anyway. If you've watched a video before, you'll get notified without having been subscribed that there's a new video out, and it just kind of holds back content creators moving on and kicking on a little bit when people do that. So if you're one of them people, please just consider subscribing, because it really helps me out as a content creator. We're trying to build this channel up, more of you coming along. Can you see me complete the full PAL and English where possible, PS3 Essentials and PS4 Hits libraries? And can I complete and review all 239 UK PAL N64 games? We're going to try and complete Yoshi's Story next, and that'll be coming either next week or the week after, and provide a little bit of different content to the channel. And don't forget, if you're interested in winning that Brian Lara cricket game on the Mega Drive, Brian Lara baby in the comments, like this video, and of course be subscribed to the channel. The winner will be selected on next week's vlog. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. It's in the bundle. Then I just need to sell this Polish version. Cut.